After nearly 5 years of being a stay-at-home mom and content creator, I recently decided to go back to work.
I quit social media full-time, got a 9 to 5, and I'm the happiest I've been in a very long time.
So I am an influencer who 3 months ago decided to get a full-time job.
While everybody's trying to become a content creator, I actually don't want to be one anymore.
Did y'all see that video of that girl asking how all the OG influencers were making $30,000 to $50,000 a month and now they're broke?
Let's talk about why I decided to return to a 9 to 5 job after being a full-time digital content creator.
I want to be an influencer. I want to get PR. I want to get free stuff. No, you do not.
Tough time never lasts. Only tough people last.
After nearly 5 years of being a stay-at-home mom and content creator, I recently decided to go back to work. And while creating content full-time and staying home with my kids was and is a dream job, one day I just woke up and realized I wasn't as happy as I used to be. In the beginning, it felt like, wow, this is so fun, and I can't believe I also get paid to do it. But recently, I've started to feel like I have to do it. And honestly, I felt like a big fraud showing up here, acting like everything was perfect when I honestly was kind of having a hard time. It's hard to have your whole job kind of surround your personal identity. There was no separation between work life and personal life, which was such a blessing, but also really a double-edged sword. I started to feel like I was showing up for my job and for my kids only at 50%, and both weren't getting the best versions of me. I also was having a hard time shaking the feeling that maybe when I'm 40, when I'm 50, etc., I won't want to be an influencer. I won't want to be a content creator. I won't want to share this much of my life, even if it's still an option at that point. Now that I'm back to working full time, I really love that I can create content when I want to, on my own time, when I really want to, not because I have to.
I went back to my 9 to 5 after doing content creation full-time for 3 years for 2 days. And here's what I noticed. Number one, if you're driving over an hour to an hour and a half for your job, I feel that your job should definitely reimburse you at least for those mileages because gas is not cheap. Two, that's pretty much a full-time job because it is so stressful to do that, especially in the mornings. And I can't imagine doing that after doing a full day of work and being just exhausted after the day. And probably people are still messaging you from the job. So you're basically still on the clock. So yes, they should definitely reimburse you for that because it is not easy. Number two, people don't do handshakes. I don't know what has happened in the last 3 days, but I did so many turkey handshakes because I would go in for a handshake and I would just get a fist bump in return. I don't know what just happened in the last 3 years. Also, number three, nobody eats lunch. Everybody just grabs super quick snacks because number one, I feel like lunch is just not prioritized. They don't get paid for it. So people just grab the most unhealthy snacks and it's just so normalized and unhealthy drinks. But those are the three things that I mostly noticed over the past 2 days.
I quit social media full-time, got a 9 to 5, and I'm the happiest I've been in a very long time. Let's talk about it. I know it's a hot take, especially because most people's journey goes in the opposite direction. I love social media. I've been doing it for 5 years. I can't imagine just not posting it all. It's second nature to me. But the truth is, social media is not what it used to be, and because of that, I no longer treat it the same either. These are conversations that I have with my fellow content creator friends all the time, but they're never shared publicly. And just a reminder, this is my experience, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I wrote all of this down because there is a lot of things I just want to talk about, and let's rip off the band-aid and talk about money. The money is insane, but follower count does not equal income. I know creators with massive followings that make barely any money, and then I know creators with a tiny amount of followers and they're making 6 figures. Full transparency, my starting rate, we are getting close to 5 figures, which is really exciting, and I'm really, really proud of myself for what I've built. But the part that nobody talks about is that the money is extremely delayed and can be deeply inconsistent. Brands can take 60 to 90 plus days to pay you, and sometimes even longer. Even with a manager bringing in deals, there can be dry spells, and that can really leave you panicked. Now with your 9 to 5, your traditional job, that paycheck is going to hit your account every 2 weeks no matter what. Add benefits and job security and you're quite literally sleeping better. And social media could be gone tomorrow. I've lost my account before. The stability from a job, it feels like a cushion and not a cage. It's let me save more, invest smarter, and I don't feel panicked over money. Now let's get into mental health and burnout. Social media is an easy job. The work part, so easy, but the mental toll, it is brutal. You're constantly performing, every moment has content potential. When something flops, you take it personally and you start to question your worth. Hate comments, imposter syndrome, burnout, it all builds. You can go from feeling on top of the world to invisible overnight. There is no boundary between work and life when you are your brand. The burnout doesn't crash down all at once, it sneaks in. Suddenly, filming feels heavy, posting feels forced, scrolling feels exhausting. You're essentially stuck in survival mode because your brain is always just on. Stepping away saved me. The 9 to 5 gave me structure, boundaries, and just mental quiet. I'm not glued to my phone. I'm not overanalyzing engagement. I just live, and it's wildly underrated. Structure over chaos. The more freedom I have, the less I get done. Crazy, I know. Maybe it's my ADHD, maybe it's just the way I'm wired, but unlimited time is paralyzing. When it's all up to me, when to work, what I do, how much I'm supposed to do, I spiral, I overthink, I procrastinate, and I start 5 things and finish none. Structure gives me rhythm and it gives me peace. Knowing I have set hours and clear expectations lets me move again. My brain, I just need that. And let's not forget about the loneliness that comes with full-time content creation. It's incredibly isolating. It's just you, your camera, and a never-ending to-do list. No coworkers, no built-in community, no one to bounce off ideas to or vent to. And since starting my 9 to 5, I've felt more connected, grounded, supported in 1 week than I have months of doing full-time content creation. People romanticize freedom, as you should. But for me, routine, structure, and human connection is true freedom for me. Growth without performance. The biggest shift for me here is me remembering who I am without an audience. When content is your job, every part of your life is filtered through performance. Even your healing becomes aesthetic. You don't just grow, you document it, edit it, and package it. But stepping away gave me the chance to grow without needing to prove anything. To realize that healing doesn't have to be seen to be real. Growth isn't always on brand. My 9 to 5 gave me the basics back. A consistent routine, space between work and rest, and time to just be a person. I walk outside daily. I move my body without filming it. I make my food without posting it. I touch grass, literally and emotionally, and I feel human again. We live in a world where we spend more time watching others than living our own lives. But since stepping back, I realized the real growth happens offline in the small and unseen moments. I stopped performing and I started living. Last but not least, the ego trap. Yes, we're talking about it. Repeat after me. Having followers does not make you better than anybody else. But for some reason, people start acting like it does. They get hooked on likes, brand deals, and attention. Their humility disappears and their kindness becomes performative. Some of your favorite creators, don't get me started on this, but they would not give you the time of day unless you are making them money or complimenting them. I have seen it firsthand, unfortunately. The clicks, the fakeness, the what can I get from you energy. Social media can warp how we see worth. It makes people transactional and distorts how we connect. But here's the truth, your follower count means nothing if your character doesn't match. Clout is not connection, and kindness is not a marketing strategy. So yeah, this is what I have learned stepping back. I'm not anti-social media. I love it so much. I am just more pro-balance and to look at the bigger picture here. And for me, that balance came from letting go of the pressure, embracing structure, and finally remembering what it feels like to live without performing. If you're feeling burnt out, off, or just something's not right, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's the world we're all plugged into. Maybe it's time to unplug just a little bit, go touch some grass, and come back to yourself.
Did y'all see that video of that girl asking how all the OG influencers were making $30,000 to $50,000 a month and now they're broke?
I'll tell you exactly what happened because I have seen it over and over again. They thought the money would continue to come in like that forever, so they spent it like it was guaranteed. Like once they started making a lot of money, they figured the rules don't apply to them anymore. But money doesn't care if you were hot on Instagram in 2021. It doesn't care how many followers you have. It only cares about math. Like when I first started making more money in real estate, the very first thing that I did was not upgrade my lifestyle. I said, okay, I have more money coming in right now. What can I do to make this money grow? Because I knew if I upgraded my lifestyle with every pay raise, I would eventually be trapped. I might have nicer things, but I would be trapped continuing to work for them and then continuing to have to fund my life. Whereas now, okay, I'm 35 years old. I'm financially free. I don't have to work for money to support my lifestyle. My investments do that for me. And I remember the comments that I would get all the time. They'd be like, Nicole, you can't actually be rich. There's no way you have a $5 million net worth. You drive a Kia. Like, where is your Lambo? And that question alone tells me that you don't understand wealth. Wealth isn't about what you drive. It's whether or not you have to keep working to survive. You can look rich and be broke, or you can look boring and be free. Most people choose the first one because it's louder, but I chose the second one because I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone. I just don't want to work for the rest of my life. That's why so many people look rich for a moment and then quietly disappear.
So I am an influencer who 3 months ago decided to get a full-time job because I'm just not a fan of doing influencing full-time. It did not fill my cup up. That being said, I've seen so many things online recently of influencers being so goddamn out of touch, and from one influencer to another who has probably even maybe said some of these things. Like, I'm not totally innocent, but now I just vow to never do it because I try to be self-aware. But this is just a message to my fellow influencers of things you just like shouldn't say online because like you're really not sounding good. And I've seen a lot of it in the last couple weeks. Number one, the to-do list where you say you're so busy and it's just appointments. Just keep it to yourself. Just keep it to yourself, okay? You're really pissing people off. Don't do it. Like, people don't, like, that's someone's relaxing Sunday. Just keep it to yourself. You can feel how you want to feel. Your followers don't want to hear about it. I promise you, like, it's pissing them off. Number two, I saw this video of someone, like, being really upset because it's, like, they're not being paid enough as an influencer, which is crazy because as an influencer, most of my money comes from what I do online, which I'm so thankful for, but, like, to say that you're not being paid enough as an influencer is crazy. Do brands come at you with crazy requests for like not enough money? 100%. But to post online that you should get 10 grand a video, I've gotten great deals in my lifetime, and again, I'm so thankful for it, and that's literally amazing that there's this much money in the space. But to outright be like, my videos deserve to be 10 grand. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You can't, don't post that. People make TikToks for fun, okay? This is people's hobby. And you think you demand 10 grand a video? Don't post that. Keep it to yourself. Number three, it was this video of Dixie D'Amelio, which I actually really like the D'Amelio, so I'm really sorry. But this video, I'm just saying PSA to my influencers, don't talk like this. Her saying how she just wants to marry rich so she doesn't have to work. Babes is a multimillionaire. Don't say you're so tired of working and you just want to marry rich. Like, you gotta be self-aware, y'all. Let me know. Do you want me to keep making these?
This not really the economy to be trying to do content creation and be an influencer and a streamer and all this shit full time. Like, it's just not. And I said it. I said it. I feel like a lot of people are out of touch with reality and they feel like they're too fucking good to get a job, and that's why they struggling the way that they are, or they keep falling back at square one. I'm not saying give up on your dreams or anything like that. That's not even to be negative, but it's just some real shit. Like, a lot of people just need to go get a fucking job and let that job fund them for everything else. Sometimes you gotta do what the fuck you gotta do, but I feel like a lot of people got pride, or they feel like, you know, they're too good for jobs. And it's like, sometimes you have to go back to the fucking drawing board. Nobody's saying to, you know, get stuck in the matrix and in the loop of, you know, working for somebody for the rest of your life. I'm not saying that. But sometimes you have to go back to that and let that fund everything else, or do that, have a job, and then do the internet shit and the content creation and the, you know, all of that as well together. Like, you need multiple streams of income, basically.
Let's talk about why I decided to return to a 9-to-5 job after being a full-time digital content creator. I honestly feel like this is not talked about enough, because I know for so many people, the dream is to leave behind your corporate job, leave behind your 9-to-5, and create content full-time, forever, hopefully. But what about those of us who got to live the dream but decided to go back? So I recently moved back to the US after living abroad in London for 4.5 years. And while I was there, I was a full-time YouTuber. So I was vlogging about my life abroad and uploading pretty much weekly. Living abroad was an amazing experience, y'all. But after a while, I started to realize, like, I can't talk about this forever. I was starting to feel a bit bored and burnt out from sharing my day-to-day life. because not every day was super interesting. And I started to feel like I was living to make content, like everything had to be content. And with my content being so focused on my personal life and sharing my day to day, it became really difficult, y'all, because I wasn't always mentally in the space to create content about my life. Like, I dealt with a lot of challenges while I lived abroad. And if I wasn't in the place to create content, that also meant I wasn't in a place to make money. So it was starting to become an issue. I originally went to London to study for my master's degree and ended up staying way longer than I ever expected. But since the beginning, I had always told myself, if this ever stops making sense, I'm going back to work. I'm going back to a 9 to 5. Okay. I got 2 degrees. And after turning 30, I really just started craving like a stronger sense of stability. I wanted to start contributing to a 401k again. I wanted to start saving money again. Like, now my story is not going to be the same for everyone. People have different niches, right? My niche was my life abroad. And I knew that my life wasn't always going to be that. For some other people, you may never get burnt out because of maybe the topic that you're focusing on. But because my content was so dependent on my life, I just knew it was like not sustainable for me as a career long term. Now, don't get me wrong, I will always love creating content. I mean, that's why I'm here right now talking to you. But now, since I started my corporate job, I feel so relieved, y'all. It's like a weight is lifted off of my shoulders because I know that my livelihood is no longer dependent on me creating content. I can actually create content for fun now because I feel like it, because I enjoy it, And I'll be honest, like at one point I had some thoughts swirling around in my head and I'm like, what if people think I'm a failure? What if they think I failed at entrepreneurship? Who cares? Okay. Who cares? It is perfectly okay to pivot. It's okay to change paths. Like, it's okay to do what makes the most sense for you and your life and your goals at that time. So if right now is your time to leave your 9 to 5 and try out self-employment, amazing. If you are currently self-employed and you're starting to feel, stress and pressure and you're thinking maybe I would feel a lot more at peace if I went back to a 9 to 5, that's okay too. For me, at the end of the day, my peace of mind is the most important thing. And that's what I'm always going to choose first.
While everybody's trying to become a content creator, I actually don't want to be one anymore. And as someone that's been a content creator for like 7 years, I'm going to tell you why I don't want to be one anymore. I wouldn't even consider myself a big content creator because on TikTok, I only had 200,000 followers. And on Instagram, I only have like 70,000 followers. But here are some of the things that I just don't really align with anymore that I used to align with. And it's the reason as to why I don't want to be one anymore. Yeah, the first one and probably the biggest one is the parasocial relationships. That is very real. People telling you what to do, people not liking you for certain things, or people almost like demanding and wanting you to be a certain way because they feel like they know you. That is a very real thing. And I don't think I like that. And because I already don't like that as someone that only has 200,000 followers, I'm not seeing myself going further, as in hitting 500, a million followers, because it's just going to get worse. Okay, it might also be because of the type of creator that I was, because I was the type of creator to just talk about my life, show my life, like basically giving you an insight on me and my life and just oversharing on the internet, Another thing is content nowadays feels like a job that you can't get off of. Like you're always working, you're always producing, you're always recording, you're always editing, you're always brainstorming. Like you're never not creating content. And it starts to get so bad for me because I started doing things for y'all than for myself. Another thing, the type of life that I want to live doesn't really require me to do all that. I knew very early on that this was not going to be as sustainable as I wanted it to be. So I decided to learn a high income skill. And ever since I learned the high income skill, I've been around people that make so much more money without having to do all of this. That then made me question everything, because it made me feel like, why exactly am I doing this for when I can really just do this instead and make triple the amount without having to tell you anything about myself. Another reason as to why I don't really want to be a content creator anymore is because I don't care to talk about a lot of things. And I'm not talking about political stuff, even though when it comes to the political aspect of things, that's another reason as to why I also don't want to be a content creator, because I can't say what I want to say when I want to say it contractually, right? So when you're a content creator, you're not allowed to talk about a lot of things. And that's why your favorite influencers don't talk about a lot of the things that you want them to talk about, because they're literally legally not allowed to unless they make money elsewhere. So the creators that you hear talk a lot about politics and stuff like that, or what's happening in the world, and nothing really happens to them, it's because they make money elsewhere. It's starting to feel like if you don't have an opinion on something, then you're boring. And I don't be having opinions on a lot of things. I don't like constantly talking about relationships 50-50 and just all these reoccurring conversations that we always talk about. Or if someone broke up, if someone just got together, your opinion on this, your opinion. I don't care. When something goes viral and it's like super trendy right now and everyone is talking about it, everybody's making a video and everybody's giving their two pence and dropping their opinions, it's just, I don't have nothing to say. With all that being said, what I'm actually trying to say is that it feels like I went from wanting to create content to having to create content, and that is what I don't like. I don't want to feel like I have to create content, and I feel like you can tell when someone has to create content than when someone wants to create content. And that's the switch that I'm trying to make. I'm trying to go from having to create content to wanting to create content as someone that is a content creator full-time. Which is why in 2026, I'm learning more high income skills so I can just be someone that happens to post content and not someone that has to. There's also been a big shift in the type of content that I used to watch to the content that I watch now. Back then, I used to watch content from people that were like actual content creators, like Jackie Aina or something like that. And nowadays, I really enjoy content from people that don't have to be content creators. You know what I mean? Like Nepo babies, or like people that maybe like work in tech or just make their money elsewhere. It just makes it easier for me to listen to any of their recommendations because they're not getting paid to tell me that this product is good. I could literally make different parts of this, but I just want to keep it in one video. Another thing is that I'm so tired of fighting to get paid fairly. I'm not doing that in 2026. I have no desire of going back and forth with brands so they can pay me what I deserve. No, I'm not doing that. I would rather literally just learn a high income skill. Yeah, it might take a little bit longer. Yeah, you might not go to any of the brand trips and stuff like that. You might not get PR, whatever. I would rather learn a high income skill that pays me what I deserve to get paid, and probably even more than I think I deserve to get paid, instead of going back and forth with brands so they can, add another 1,000, 2,000, or maybe 3,000 to my check. Like, no, it's long, it's exhausting, and you're basically doing the same thing you're doing working a 9 to 5. So with that being said, should you become a content creator? Yes and no. If you're okay with everything that I just said, then become a content creator. If you feel like, yeah, I would want to be a content creator, but just not like the way you did it, yeah, same. I'm definitely going to go a different route as well. My route, and that's the route that I suggest you going to, especially if you want to be on the internet for a long time. Girl, learn a high income skill. Learn a high income skill. It can be anything. It can be digital marketing. It can be tech. It can be anything. Sales, digital, whatever, anything. Make money from that area. That's stupid amounts of money. And then use that money to then fund your content creating lifestyle. You know what I mean? But yeah, those are the reasons why I don't want to be a content creator anymore. And it's a little bit sad because I really used to enjoy content a lot. Like, I wanted to be a content creator so bad. Like, I dedicated 7 years of my life into this just for me to kind of like stop and quit. It's actually crazy. I'm not going to quit immediately, but I am going to, use this as my 9 to 5, basically. So this is where I make money, but I want to go there. That's the same thing that y'all doing. Y'all are working 9 to 5s right now, but y'all want to be on here. So I'm just kind of like doing the same thing y'all doing, just switch your lanes.
Influencers are going back to 9 to 5, and the main reason is the money. Most of these influencers got into influencing in the first place because of the money. The money was good. The goal was the money, but they were not enjoying what they were doing. And now the money is no longer enough. The followers, the views, everything, the deals are not going good. They already adapted a very expensive lifestyle. They've misused their money. They have bills to pay and no money to pay the bills with. They have a certain lifestyle to maintain, and now it's no longer working. Secondly, being an influencer, you don't have job security. One day your account is here, the next day you might wake up and the account is blocked or deleted, and you're starting from zero. And if you didn't even have a backup plan, starting from zero can be so hard. So that's why they are going from being influencers to 9 to 5. It's also about the mental health. They are drained, they are burnt out with all these influencing and living fake lifestyles with no money to support those fake lifestyles. So those are just my thoughts. That's why it's not working for them. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please leave your comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also share this video so we can reach more people and get the algorithm to push us. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.